Hello everyone, and welcome to another Pathfinder adventure card game scenario with the character Damiel. This is scenario 3.5 over at the crypt, where at this location the difficulty of checks against Banes that have the cold or undead trait is increased by 3 plus the scenario's adventure deck number, so for a total of +6 modifier. Alright, Damiel's hand is looking good. Let's go ahead and advance to Blessings deck. It's a Blessing of the Elements. And exploring, we get a Magma Spirit. Outsider Elemental Fire Basic, check to defeat, combat 9. The Magma Spirit is immune to the fire trait. If the check to defeat has a cold trait, add 1 die. Before you act, each character at your location is dealt 1 fire damage. Well, that kind of stinks. Don't want to take any fire damage. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to lose a Blessing of Abadar as damage, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Chakram, which is going to allow me to roll a d10 plus a d8, and since I'm using Damiel's range skill, I can add +2. You know what? I think I'm feeling pretty confident. I also have a soul stimulant in my hand, which I'm going to recharge, which will allow Damiel to add 1d4 and the acid traits. So I think all those 3 things together will be more than enough. Alright, let's go ahead and roll. So we rolled a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we were successful. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead and banish this Bane. We will reset Damiel's hand, and we will advance the Blessings deck, which is a Blessing of the Ancients, and we will explore. Alright, we get a Blessing of the Elements. Damiel has, this is Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, Intelligence. Well, we'll do the Intelligence, because Damiel has an Intelligence of D10 plus 3. So we roll a 3 plus 3 is 6. Alright, we were successful. We'll go ahead and use it right away. Discard this card to explore your location. So let's do it. Oh, we get this Staff of the Uraeus. Well, it's a level 3 item, so Damiel would really like this. It's a Strength, Melee, Charisma 10 check. Well, on all 3 of those skills, Damiel has a D4. So it looks like this is going to be an auto. Okay, it does have the poison trait. It says here, Damiel has this cool power. It says here, you may recharge or reveal a card to add 1d6 to your check that invokes the acid or poison trait. If your card has the alchemical trait, you may add another 1d6. Well, that is really cool. So we're just going to reveal an acid flask, and look at that. That's going to allow us to roll 2d6. Wow. So now all of a sudden, since it has the poison trait, we have the chance of acquiring this weapon. That's really exciting. Alright, let's go ahead and roll. So we rolled a 5, 6, and a 1. So look at that. We have actually acquired this boon. Wow, pretty exciting. So it's a weapon. Let me go ahead and straighten everything out here. So combat check, reveal this card to use your strength and melee skill plus 26 plus 2. Reveal this card and discard a spell. So it's really not that useful. We will toss it. And now what we're going to do is Damiel's hand is fine. We will reset, or we will advance the Blessings deck. We get a Curse of the Ravenous. So Damiel is cursed, and now we are exploring, and we get a Flame Staff. So Arcane Divine 4, it's a staff attack, fire, basic magic. Alright, or magic basic. Let's roll a d4. So we rolled a 1. We do not acquire this boon. And now we have to roll for the Curse of the Ravenous. But before we roll for the Curse of the Ravenous, we might want to use this guy, the Viper, who's in our hand. We can recharge this card to exchange a card in your hand with a card of the same type in your discard pile. Well, so we have a Blessing, and we can swap it out for the Blessing of Abdar. We haven't had any barriers yet. That might be the smart thing to do. I also have a Blessing of Thoth. Well, we'll just keep the Viper for now. But we do have to roll for the Curse of the Ravenous. See which cards in our discard pile we have to bury. So all blessings. Okay, so the Blessing of Abadar in Damiel's hand is now buried. And now we will continue. Advancing the Blessings deck, it's the Blessing of Isis. And exploring, okay, we get the villain of this scenario. It's a Trigger Undead Cleric Cultist. So check to defeat combat 18 or Divine 13. So it says when you examine this card. So we did not examine this card. So this Undead Cleric is immune to the mental and poison traits. There is an after you act effect. Okay, so right now the check to defeat is +6 due to the crypt. And so we can do a combat 24 check. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Well, fortunately, we have an Acid Flask, and we also have a Blessing of Thoth, which is just going to allow us to roll 1 die in the cold trait. No immunity to the cold trait. So what we're going to do is we can do that. So the Acid Flask is going to give us a D10 plus 2d6. We're adding +4 to that roll. The Blessing of Thoth gives us another D10. And we are going to use this Alchemist's Shield to recharge it, to add 1d4 and the Acid trait to our combat check. So we're going to roll all these. We're going to roll 5 dice. We're going to add +4 to the roll. Alright, let's see what happens. 5 dice, adding 4 to the roll. So roll a 6, and a 6 is 12, and 1 is 13, and 9. So 10, 22, and 3 is 25. So we needed 18, 19, 20, 24, but we had 25 plus our buff of +4. So we rolled a 29, and all we needed was a 24. So we were successful in defeating this villain. Alright, so the villain has been banished, the location is closed, and we have won that scenario. Alright, so technical difficulties here. Let's go ahead and do a deck check. So that was very exciting. Damiel was successful, defeated the villain of the crypt. Let's go ahead and do a quick deck check here. He did gain a lot of really cool, he gained that cool Staff of the Uraeus, which he will be able to trade to a trader, so pretty excited about that. Let's go ahead and do a deck check here. He acquired a Blessing of the Elements, not that he's going to keep it, but still could come in useful. There's his buddy the Viper, who was hanging out with him. So let's see, we also have the Alchemist's Shield. We got all these really great liquid alchemical items with the canteen. Sorry for the glare there. The canteen is awesome. Let's go ahead and do this and that. So this is the state of Damiel's deck. The reward for this scenario is this ally, who's a level 3, and the Sun Falcon Pectoral, which is an item. So, of course, Damiel, that's to loot, but he wants to go straight to seeing a trader, Falsing Deek, because Damiel wants to get some more alchemical items. So we're going to randomly roll the giant stack of item cards here. I'm going to randomly determine which cards we get. Let's roll a D6 and a D30 here. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so starting here, let's see. So once again, the Delacroix gloves. And this time we got a spell bottle. So let's check this out. Do we want any of these items? Well, we already passed on those gloves. Falsing Deek is again trying to pawn them off on us, but we really don't want them. So checking out this spell bottle. Display this card and put a spell face up on this card. You may bury this card to draw the spell. When you do, you may succeed at a craft 12 check to recharge this card instead of burying it. So of course the spell has to come from our hand, and Damiel doesn't have any hand. Damiel does not have any spells. So object, magic, arcane, divine. It's not even alchemical. It's not even liquid. So really, isn't really that useful to him. Alright, so we will say goodbye to Falsing Deek. He didn't have anything that we wanted. So looking at Damiel's hand, of course he got 3 cool loot items. It's unfortunate the trader fell through because he's not really going to keep this level 3, he's not keeping that level 3, and he's not even going to be keeping this level 3. So kind of a squandered opportunity to get some new really cool cards in his deck, but that's just how it goes. Alright, well I will have another adventure up shortly. It's going to be scenario 3.6, the final adventure of level 3, where Damiel, after that adventure, will be able to pick his roll card. Alright, so exciting times up ahead. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I will have another adventure up shortly.